Hello there, I'm Annie, I'm a life coach, and I'm going to be a little controversial and start off this video as a coach by saying you don't need a coach, a mentor, or a program or a course to make massive changes in your life. I actually got into coaching because I had a massive life transformation fully through myself. Well, not fully through myself. It was actually guided through personal development books. And in less than 2 years, more like 1 year, but 2 years for like the big manifestation stuff to happen, my life completely changed. So I have about 10 book recommendations for you today. The first 3 I've talked about before, but these 3 are the ones that completely shifted my life. So just a little backstory. Growing up, I was undiagnosed ADHD. I experienced a lot of anxiety and social anxiety. I was a C student. I was always called lazy and messy and irresponsible. Did I already say I was a C student? ADHD getting me because I don't even know what I said 5 seconds ago. And then when I got into my adult years, I did not know how to adult. I was still very messy. My apartment was always a complete disaster. I never made my bed. I slept until noon. I was broke babysitting as my main source of income. I was in a toxic relationship with an alcoholic for years, amongst so many other things, which led me to my rock bottom. But at my rock bottom, an acquaintance of mine suggested and actually sent to me 2 personal development books. These 2 I'm going to start out by sharing are ones that I talk about often, but I want to emphasize them and share some things that I learned and how I made reading them work for me and transforming my life. But before we get into this, I do have a sponsor for this video, and it's so freaking aligned. Audible is sponsoring this video.
I think by now we can all agree Audible is the best platform for instantly accessing our favorite audiobooks, podcasts, even meditations from all of our devices. It has a wide variety of titles, constantly adding new releases. They have bestsellers, they have celebrity memoirs, business audiobooks, novels, and everything in between. And you already know that my favorite is the massive personal development selection. Audible makes it so easy to instantly access pretty much any title that I want and get that daily dose of personal growth. I love listening in the car or while I'm traveling, when I'm out on walks, while I'm cleaning, or just relaxing. And right now, if you click the link below, new members get a free 30-day trial. And as an Audible member, you can choose one title to keep per month from the entire catalog, and that's full access to Audible's growing selection of audiobooks, Audible originals, and podcasts, and you can download and listen to all that you want. Again, I will link it down below. I highly recommend listening to one of the titles I share in this video. They're all good, but as you're about to see, The Miracle Morning by Elrod is a great place to start. First 30 days are free, so why not?
Another pointer that I want to share with you is I don't have all 10 books with me that I'm going to be sharing because I lend them out. How many times do you do this? You lend out one of your favorite books to someone and then you never see it again. So all the books I'm sharing about today, I once had in possession, but now that I have them on Audible, I get to keep them. Nobody can take them and not give them back. Again, I will link Audible down below and you can get a free 30-day trial. Like literally go click the link and you can download the books that I'm talking about in this video. Definitely worth it. Anyway, so back to those first 2 books that I was sent that really started my life transformation. If you've been around here, you know these titles already, but the first one I read was The Miracle Morning by Elrod. In The Miracle Morning, he gives you a step-by-step routine to follow for your mornings that I followed. And as soon as I started reading it, by the way, it was a very quick read. As soon as I started reading it, I took action the next day. I woke up at 8 a.m. I got up, I made my bed, I meditated, I journaled, I did the other things that the book said. And over time, I kind of morphed it into my own custom morning routine. But because of that book, I started all of these healthy habits. And it is now years later, and I still stick to a morning routine because of this book. And with that, the key point that made that book work for me, as well as the other books I'm going to be sharing with you, is taking action. There's so much overconsumption where we'll read or watch videos or listen to podcasts or do whatever, like constantly consuming without taking action. There's this saying that goes, information without integration equals frustration. It doesn't matter how much you read or all the personal development videos you watch, the ones you watch from me or whatever. Like, none of that matters if you're not taking action. And it's funny because I'm realizing this advice for you is actually taking away from my business model, You know, usually if you're a content creator, you want people to watch your videos and tune in. I'm saying, turn off the screen. Watch less, integrate more. Like, read one and integrate it. And you can start reading more if you want, but like, don't just move on to the next thing. Implementation, like self-care, taking action. So that was the first book. The second book I read, which is still my all-time favorite, I read this right after The Miracle Morning, Jack Canfield, The Success Principles, How to Get From Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. You can see it's super long, but it's very digestible because all of the chapters are really short. It breaks it up very nicely into all different kinds of personal development topics. And this is actually where I first learned about manifestation and the law of attraction. Jack Canfield was actually in the movie The Secret. In this book, he goes over the law of attraction. He goes over scripting or future journaling, whatever you want to refer to it as. He goes over creating vision boards, visualization, all of those things, and so much more. So the key with this book is there's so much that you can't really integrate all of this. I read it all the way through and anchored in what resonated with me, and clearly it was the manifestation stuff. I've said this before, I'll say it again because people always ask me about tips on scripting and blah blah blah. I literally just read like a 5-page chapter about scripting from this book. That was all the information I had on it, and took action. Started scripting. If you don't know what scripting is, that's where you journal as if you're already living the life that you want to live, and just made it my own based off the knowledge that I got from the few pages I read in this book. But I integrated it and I felt into what it meant for me and made sense for it for me. It's not about, again, learning all of the knowledge. If you read things and it resonates, dive into yourself and see what it means for you. We're always so focused on trying to find the answers outside of ourselves, and reading and books and personal development can unlock things within ourselves, but it's not about relying on the words of others. It's having these things activate something within us, and then us feeling into it and intuitively going through it for ourselves in a unique way. This book taught me all about manifestation in very few chapters, but most of the knowledge was just sparked from this, and then I intuitively started doing it and learning what it meant through my lens. The third book is You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. What's her name? Let me double check. Jen Sincero. I always get that wrong. So the book You Are a Badass at Making Money, I read that book, and this is when I was still babysitting, by the way. So I was still broke. One of the prompts, so I believe it was like, how much money do you want to make a month, she said. And at that time, I said $5,000. And that was mind-blowing because I was only making like $1,000 to $2,000 a month tops. So $5,000 sounded huge. So I was like, okay, 5,000. And then the next prompt says, now double it. And now write about the life you would be living if you made double that. So I was like, $10,000, what? But I took it and I started scripting about it every day. I'm not sure if her prompt was to script about it, but I think I maybe combined learning about scripting from the success principles and then that prompt about how much money do you want? Now double it. And then I would script about that every day. Within 1 month of scripting daily, I manifested $10,000. So after those 3 books, The Miracle Morning, The Success Principles, and You Are a Badass at Making Money, in less than 2 years, I went from broke, living with roommates, depressed, in a toxic relationship, babysitting, all of that, within 2 years, just through personal development books and manifestation practices. I manifested my dream luxury apartment, my Lexus. I went on to doing a coaching certification program, which was my first even taste of coaching. I got certified as a coach. I started making 6 figures a year and all the other things. And since then, my life has transformed. I now own my tiny house and I'm on a different adventure, but still freaking awesome, still using these tools and manifestations. And I teach other people how to do this as well. But it started from integrating what I learned from personal development books. My life completely changed just by taking action, aligned action, on personal development books. And again, all 3 of those books are currently on Audible, so just plugging that again, you should go listen. But the key is don't just listen. Listen and take action. Like, do the things it says and commit to yourself. So those are the big three. I do want to touch on a few more books because I want to give you guys more recommendations. These following ones I can't claim changed my life. They opened my awareness and were really transformative, but I always have to give those first three books the big, like, life-changing credit, but I do love these ones as well. The next one I'm going to share about is The Power of Now. I'm sure you've seen it around. It's by Eckhart Tolle. I'm not even going to go into what it's all about. It's very popular and I liked it. Another one that I absolutely love is You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. Louise Hay is no longer with us on earth, but I absolutely love this book, and I actually enjoy the Audible version more than reading the physical book because Louise Hay herself narrated it. The first time I listened to it, I was like, wow, this is so aligned with the kind of coaching that I do. So if you've ever been interested in my coaching, but you're like, I don't know about investing in a coach right now, listen to You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay and you'll get a taste of the kind of work and shifts that I do in my coaching. This next one isn't on Audible, unfortunately, but there's a book. I actually have the physical one. Where is it at? Hiring the Heavens. So the remainder of the ones I'm going to be sharing with you are all spiritual books. So if you're into that, then you will love these. If you're not, then whatever. That's fine. But Hiring the Heavens, a practical guide to developing working relationship with the spirits of creation. This is again a really quick read. I do the practices in this book and I actually share this a lot with my clients. And just by explaining to my clients what was in this book, there have been literal miracles that my clients have experienced. The next book, Many Lives, Many Masters. If you are even remotely curious about reincarnation, it was not something that I was like, maybe I don't, like, probably not. I read Many Lives, Many Masters and it just like opened my mind and awareness. It's by Dr. Brian Weiss. If you have any curiosity on the subject, it actually was very healing to read. So I'll just leave it at that. Another amazing spiritual book is Signs, The Secret Language of the Universe by Laura Lynn Jackson. It's all about not only how the universe gives us signs and synchronicities, how spirit gives us signs and synchronicities, but how our past loved ones communicate with us through those signs and synchronicities. I was already very familiar with all of this and already received it and saw signs and synchronicities constantly, but just hearing all the stories is very heartwarming and makes you look at losing loved ones or no longer being on the planet when the time comes as not so scary. I also love Laura Lynn Jackson's book, The Light Between Us. She has a lot of clients and people she's worked with share their experience with her. Laura Lynn Jackson is a very well-known medium. Again, very healing and comforting. And then book number 10 that I'm going to share with you that I absolutely loved is Ask Your Guides by Sonia Choquete. This, I could not put this one down. All of them. I love all of them. And one of the key pointers for so many of these books that really help me take action on what I read and integrate it into my life is the stories that they share. So like the success principles, it was jam-packed with people who had used the tools in this book, who had been in even lower circumstances than I was at my rock bottom, and hearing their life transformations made me go, oh, well, if they could overcome what they were going through, which was even worse than where I was, then I can too. That was a big mindset shift to happen. And another thing was releasing expectation. So as I was implementing the things that I was reading in these books, specifically Miracle Morning and the Success Principles, I didn't have this idea of like, oh, this has to work. I'm going to do, like, I didn't have all these expectations. I had this like open-heartedness though, like, I'm so new to this. I don't know, but it could work for me. Like if it worked for them, it could work for me. So I just had this optimism, but I wasn't so like laser focused. You know, we have this like this grip on things needing to go a certain way, where I just had like this playfulness and optimistic outlook on, let's see where this takes me. I don't know, let's see. I'm gonna do it and see what happens. Again, and I was coming from a very low rock bottom, but that optimism that I had from hearing other people's life transformations is what made me go, I'm gonna take these actions too and see what happens. And here I am. Lots of cool things have happened. But I'm going to leave you with that. I would love to do more book giveaways in videos. So let me know in the comments what books out of the ones that I shared today are you most intrigued by, as well as let me know some of your favorite personal development books. Like, do you have one that changed your life? Let me know that as well. And based off of the responses that I get, I will start doing more book giveaways. I used to do them all the time and people loved them. So yeah, if that sounds good, give this video a thumbs up and I will do that. Again, thank you to Audible for sponsoring. Get your free Audible 30-day trial down below. Go sign up right now. Go pick one of those books I shared and go listen to it. But that is all, and I will see you soon with the new video. Bye guys.